Hey everybody, it's Galmadex, and welcome to the July 2024 Arena Open Day 2 draft number 1. This is a competitive best-of-3 draft of Modern Horizons 3 that you can qualify for by making it through a 7-win sealed run in the Arena Open Day 1. We're trying to win 3 out of the next 4 best-of-3 rounds to make it into draft number 2, which is the big one. That is the draft where you are competing for the cash prizes up to $2,000 on the line. So without further ado, let's hop into the draft and see where the cards take us today. Alright, and here we are with an excellent Pack 1 Pick 1. Psychic Frog is a fantastic bomb rare. We've managed to play with this card a few times, and it's always been absolutely incredible. It's a card draw engine. You can use it as a bunch of combat tricks by discarding a bunch of cards, make sure that it's bigger than whatever it's fighting. Can fly it in the sky in the endgame to finish your opponent off. Very happy with Psychic Frog, and it plays very, very well with the main archetype for its color pair, which is about trying to draw 3 cards in one turn, so pairs super well there. Anything else we're really passing up on? Cursed Marauder, Nightshade Dryad, probably the best monocolored cards. Ghost Fire Slice and Apprentice are great too. You just see them less often because they're uncommons, so I have a little less experience with them. They're probably on par, if not better. Yeah, plenty of decent stuff, but Psychic Frog is by far the best card. Pick 2, we get past Soren, which is a decent sign for black. I don't think Soren's incredible. It's a little hard to flip, but just a 1/4 lifelink Extort is already pretty annoying. We're already trying pretty hard to stick to black with Psychic Frog, so might as well grab the Soren. This pack is absolutely loaded, though. Glyph Elemental, Voltstorm Angel, and Rallin the Implicit Maids are all incredible uncommons. Fanatic's great ramp for a green deck. Think off the Psychic Frog start, we just jump onto the Soren here, but wow, this pack's insane. Galvanic Discharge 2 for removal. For pick 3, we have mainly Demon Inferior for blue's best interaction, just a great bounce spell you can often cast for super cheap. Psychic Frog, one of the cards to help do that. Or some pretty great interaction out of white, heading in a different direction. This is 2-for-1 removal, but it's pretty slow. But you do get to exile a big card and get a nice little cat warrior. I think we just take Demon Inferior here. When it's a little more flexible as well. It's easier to cast, just a single blue mana. Plus, of course, it goes towards the Psychic Frog. Yeah, if I didn't have a single blue card right now, I might take a Johnny Fells over Demon Inferior, but it's close enough. I think we can easily just take Deem. Pick 4, Horrid Shadow Spinner is a decent sign that blue-black as an archetype could be open-ish. It is only pick 4, but this card is great, and it functions really well with the same kind of archetype that Psychic Frog's trying to fit into. Makes our Demon Inferiors incredibly cheap. Could take this really highly here. I think I will take it over a Demon Inferior because it just makes this kind of archetype tick so well, and it really digs towards the Psychic Frog or any balmy stuff. Soren, it's not that balmy in here, but another powerful card I can dig for. Alright, pick 5. Serum Visionary can stack up along with another piece of card draw to equal your draw 3 trigger. Plus, drawing cards in general is already good. This is a great value play all by itself. And we technically don't have anything in our deck yet that cares about specifically having drawn 3 cards in a turn, so drawing 1 is still solid value. That's pretty easily the pick. The Harvester's fine card selection, and the Lurker's fine for its flexibility. There is one combo you can hit in blue-black if you try to build a Reanimator deck. You get to cycle this away and then sacrifice the spawn to your Victimize to reanimate it, but I think without any Victimizes or reanimation yet, we just grab the Visionary. Just more consistently good. Copy Crook always gets to be the best creature on the battlefield, and then some. Make this a copy of the best creature, but also it can connive. Card is fine, it's not super exciting or anything, but we are quite locked in here. I mean, looking at this collection of cards, it's going to take a lot to get us to be anything other than blue-black, because this is a great combination of spells. Okay, some more mediocre red. Pyrosurfer is actually pretty good, so this pack is more of a sign that red's open than last pack was. But we still just take the Kami here. None of these are going to work well with anything we've drafted so far. Even if we push off black to be like blue-red, these 3 blue spells don't really pair with any of this red. Honestly, Pyrosurf is the only good red card here. Flare of Duplication and Fledgling Dragon are borderline unplayable. And Evermage is just okay, since it costs quite a bit. Alright, we're happy to see a lot of black spells here, pick 8, but it's very similar to the red in last pack, where none of it's all that good. Transmigrant works well with Conniving, so if we discard this to Psychic Frog, Horrid Shadow Spinner, or Copy Crook's Connive ability, that's some good synergy there. Blue-black's also an archetype that has a few ways to sacrifice things. I think Transmigrant has the most decent synergy for where our deck could be headed. Pick 9. This was our opening pack. We got the Drownyard Lurker back. The only other playable is Expel the Unworthy, which is very filler removal. Got another Drownyard Lurker back, pick 10. This was the pack that had some great white and red spells in it, as far as I remember, so we're actually pretty happy that none of those wheeled, because that means there's other drafters in those colors instead of our colors. Pick 11. Nothing very good here. Consign to Memories, actually. Some sideboard tech, since this is best of 3 draft. If we play against the double Chrysalis Dream deck, we can run this in there. Counter the Chrysalis and its activated ability, or any other Eldrazi they have. I'll take another Consign. Gargantua was fine in this archetype, because you do get to draw 2 in 1 turn, but it's played so much worse than it looks, just in general in this format. It's just too slow on average. So I'll grab another Consign there. Pack 2, pick 1's a pretty excellent pack. We've got that Marionette Apprentice thing again that looks decent. We've got Sneaky Snacker, which is like perfect synergy for this deck. I'd be super unhappy if it didn't wheel, so we might take it just to guarantee it. Deep Analysis would be a good wheel. Flare of Malice is probably fine. So Apprentice and Snacker, I think, are the best 2 cards. Apprentice is way less likely to wheel, but I would be missing out on so much more not having a Sneaky Snacker in this deck because of how perfect it is as a synergy piece. I'm just going to guarantee it's in here. Pack 2, pick 2. Depths Defiler is basically the only option, and it's a pretty good one. Even if you don't kick it, these are great abilities on your 5-drop. If you do kick it, it's pretty incredible, so we'd like to take some blue-black landscapes to have some random colorless sources in the deck. Another Sneaky Snacker here, pick 3. I think we take that over the Shadow Spinner. We take one and hope to wheel the other one. Victimize is cute, but I think Snacker Shadow Spinner synergies are more consistently good, consistently powerful. I think Shadow Spinner is slightly more likely to wheel than Snacker, so I'm going to take the Snacker here. Pick 4. Nothing much here, right? Ripples of Undeath is interesting. I've never played with or against that yet. It's probably pretty bad, though. That is quite the cost to draw the cards. It's like a really bad for Phyrexian Arena, where you have to spend the 1 extra mana every single turn you want to actually draw off of it. Play this over a Swamp, or just take Electrozoa. I'm just going to take Electrozoa. Pick 5, Accursed Marauder works pretty excellently with Transmigrant as well as double Sneaky Snacker. This is great for our archetype. Nethergoyf's okay. We've got a lot of discard to make this bigger. I still think Marauder's just better on average. More consistent. Pick 6, another Sneaky Snacker. Alright, yeah, this is kind of the dream. We started with a pack 1, pick 1 Psychic Frog, and then blue-black was open enough to get cards like pick 6 Sneaky Snacker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can't wheel the Snacker. There will be no playables left when this pack wheels. It's going to be like a Nesting Grounds and an Expel the Unworthy. So I can't take Brain Surge and wheel Sneaky Snacker. If this were like 1 or 2 picks before, maybe we could make a pick like that. But it's not going to happen here. With triple Snacker, Eviscerator's Insight is great. We sack 1 Snacker. Draw 2 cards, immediately reanimate the snacker, and any other ones we have in our grave. No blue-black landscape here. We take an Electrozoa. Deep Analysis wheeled for us. We're happy to see that, and we'll absolutely play it. Triggers our draw 3 cards twice. Once when we cast it, once when we flashback it. So great with the triple snacker. And our Kami of Jealous Thirst. Got the Dream Drinker Vampire back, which was the only playable for us in this pack. It probably gets cut, though, because our 2-drops are so good, and Vampire's just kind of filler. Let's see if we get Shadow Spinner back. Somebody might just hate draft it. I don't think anybody else in this draft bot is doing blue-black. Shadow Spinner would be... So here's the Ripples. I think Shadow Spinner was the pack right before or right after the Ripples. We'll find out. Okay. It was one of those packs. It didn't come back. It probably got hate drafted. Which is unfortunate. Alright. Pack 3, pick 1. Familiar's fine, and Gengar's fine. I think I just take the huge win con here. Riddle Keeper's fine too, but you really want to be able to emerge this for it to be good, and we are currently on 0 colorless sources, so that's not really a thing. I think we just take Gengar. Oh, this is a difficult choice. So Null Drifter has really good reanimation synergies. We're not doing a lot of reanimation here. We're not doing any right now. And we're not super good at making it all the way to 7 mana to hardcast this. It is very strong when you hardcast it at 7. Conscription's just so much synergy for this deck. We've got the Shadow Spinner, the Deep Analysis. We can double up card draw. We can sack the zombie army and replace it with Eviscerator's Insight. There's just too many good synergies for Mindless Conscription. I think Conscription is genuinely just better than Null Drifter in this deck. Now we take another Deep Analysis. Now we take another Mindless Conscription. Okay. I'm slightly sad to pass up a Scurrilous Sentry, but there's no way I can take that over Conscription, just as a way to like discard Snackers. And we could just play Snackers and trade them off and have them in grave, and that's still a perfectly solid way to use them. I'm going to take another Conscription. We got another Shadow Spinner anyway. Even though we lost that pack 2 Shadow Spinner, I'll take it. I do like Unfathomable Truths in this kind of deck, but I feel like double Shadow Spinner would be a little more spicy. Another Specimen. Play these as tapped islands. There's an Unfathomable Truths. I think I'll take that over Kami of Jealous Thirst. Our 3-drops are so good it's hard to make room for more. And we already have the 1 copy if we want to play around with that sort of ability. What are the colors looking like? 15 to 15? Cut some blue and Consuming Conscription gets decent. We're pretty low on interaction right now. I think I have to take Consuming Corruption over Scurrilous Sentry just to have more removal. We're on Accursed Marauder, and then Demon Inferior, Depth Defiler. Yeah, we need interaction. People are absolutely scooping up all the removal. It's the biggest flaw of our deck. I don't think I end up playing any of these. Maybe Cephalid Coliseum in a really grindy matchup where I'm not worried about my life total. Guess I could have taken the life linking thing just to be able to flip Soren more often. But we do have double Shadow Spinner lifelinking with it. The Dream Drinker Vampire, that's the lifelinking thing. Could have played 2 copies of Dream Drinker for potentially more Sorin flips. Okay, nothing in the sideboard's coming back into the main deck. These are flip lands. Got a land for a specimen. Got a land for 2 specimens so that we can play as 16 or 19 lands here. I mean, I have rarely been overly impressed by the specimens. Playing them as spells. I honestly don't think it would be crazy just with my personal experience with the card to just cut both of them and just play a regular 17 land deck. I've got plenty of draw and discard anyway to ditch extra lands. There's Connive here and double Shadow Spinners there. Discard extra lands to Psychic Frog value. This is let me discard a card as well if we don't need to bounce something with it. I mean, instinctually, I kind of want to just cut double specimen. And then if our opponent has a million removal spells, we can throw them back in. And cut a land. 13 blue, 16 black. And I have that corruption that wants a bunch of swamps on board. Don't need blue mana till turn 3 and onward. Well, no, I've got these really good blue 2-drops. Yeah, I still want to stay pretty even on colors, but definitely give black the edge for consuming corruption. But I really want to be able to cast Psychic Frog and Snackers and stuff turn 2, so still close to even. Yeah, deck looks really, really nice. Very happy with this as our place to be as we head into the gameplay. Here we are on the play for round 1. Really need to hit a blue source, ideally quickly. But this is best of 3 where there is no hand smoother, so this kind of stuff's going to happen more often. We're on the play here with a 3-drop. Worst case scenario. I think I can probably keep this, but there's a definite risk involved. If we draw nothing but blue spells and no lands, then we will lose. Alright, a landscape towards a red source from our opponent. Our first draw is a blue spell. We hate to see that. Another landscape. These are both blue-red landscapes. We do find the blue source just in time. We get to run it out turn 3. I've already got solid plays for turn 4. So don't really need to do any digging. I guess anything I play is going to do some digging, except for Kami, but Kami's definitely not the right play. I think I'm going to drop Shadow Spinner here. I don't need immediate draw and scry impact. Let's see if we can get some lifelink swings in. Could play the Visionary just to play around removal here. But I feel like solid creatures would be the response to that. Alright, they do have the Fanged Flames. Are they just mono red? Well, they must have the 3/3 Goblin. Well, we're chilling, honestly. Got time to just get ahead in cards here. Okay, there's the blue source. Shapeshifter, super filler. They're going to go for the 2/5 Vigilance. One 3 Death Touch is pretty annoying against that. I can get a free drain here. Skyclaw. That is definitely a threat. At least a 4-power flyer. Don't mind Copy Crook on the Skyclaw. That'd be my only spell for the turn, though. Wouldn't have Demon Fear mana afterward. I could Visionary, Demon Fear for 2. Can only play both of these. Let's just Copy Crook it. Probably better to hold off the 2/5 than hit for 1 point of damage. Alright, Ember Mage. Ember Mage is actually pretty reasonable in this matchup because our deck is really slow. Probably Deem the Skyclaw. We don't really want to bounce an Ember Mage. Which means I don't trade because I'm just going to Demon Inferior the Skyclaw. Find a Gengar. Okay. Got 10 damage in the sky now. Only sacks other creatures. Could be a 4 damage burn spell from our opponent. If this is a 4 damage burn spell, it's pretty bad if I let the damage in or if I block. I think I have to block like this, because I don't think they would send Shapeshifter in. Unless it was something big enough to kill Gengar, even if I blocked Shapeshifter. Or they would. Oh, no, I guess actually they could. They could kill Gengar, even if I blocked that way. They just have to sack all of their spawn. And the spawn gang itself. Alright, so we just gave them a better commander play. Not the end of the world yet. I think we're still slightly ahead. But that commander is very good, because they get to kill the Skyclaw too now. Okay, that was a great draw. Have I played a land yet? No. Doesn't matter, because I'm not going to be able to reanimate Transmigrant anyway. I do get to Connive, though, so I could Connive, have Deep Analysis, and Transmigrant as the play. I mean, it's got to be a Cursed Marauder, though, right? Just to make them have one less Eldrazi for Spawn Gang Commander. Yeah. You know what? Might just discard the Transmigrant to the Connive so that Skyclaw gets bigger. Put them on a 3-turn clock. No, that can't be right. If I Connive a non-land and make Skyclaw 4 toughness, it still dies to Spawn Gang Commander using its ability twice. So we just discard a land. That way I get to keep the Marauder itself on the board. When we kill the Shapeshifter here. I guess if Deep Analysis doesn't find more bounce for the Skyclaw, they don't have to spawn Gengar Skyclaw. Although theirs is only going to be 3 power, so they actually do have to shoot at least one spawn its direction. Okay, well they obviously just need energy here. Okay, looks like they are just going to do the double sack on Skyclaw, which takes up their turn, and then we can crack back on the ground here. Yeah, this looks fine. Looks like a solid position. Oh no, that's right. They can make a 3-3 with the energy, so we don't have crackbacks. Are any snackers in grave, do I? No. Unfortunate. Hello. It's pretty astronomically huge here. I've already drawn my 3rd card for turn, so I can't bring the snacker back by like playing Psychic Frog, discarding it, and deep analysising again. Just go. I could go Frog plus Conscription, honestly. Doesn't seem bad. But then I have less cards to discard towards the Frog. They only have 1 Eldrazi left, so if I discard a single card to Frog, it's safe from spawn gang commanders. So Frog, Conscription, I can discard Snacker. That's another Golem. So we need to be going for flying damage here. Another Shapeshifter. Does give them a flying blocker. Okay. They don't even have the mana to use Spawn Gang right now, so we don't have to worry about any of that. Any of those shenanigans. Those are not particularly good draws. They're playing off the top. They could Spawn Gang 2 Eldrazi at me. They can sack the Shapeshifter and the Commander for 4 damage total. So they hit for 3 on the Crackback, I go to 6. And they hit for 1, 2, 3, 4. They need to top deck something to lethal me on the Crackback. If I hit them with Psychic Frog now, not only do I draw a card, but I have lethal in 2 swings. I think I have to go for it and hope they don't just top deck 2 damage somehow. Do I keep one of these? Yeah, in case I draw a 4-drop, right? So I can play a 4-drop and still reanimate Transmigrant. I don't have any 4-drops left in the deck. I only have 5s and 3s. I guess I discard this then. Oh, we hit one of the 5s, so no transmigrant. Still absolutely worth playing. This makes sure we don't take any damage on the crackback. Alright, there's the concession from our opponent via rope. Which might mean a full round concession, and it does. Full match concession or a disconnect. Who knows? They could have had a really unfortunate timing internet issue or something like that. Whew, alright. I feel like that round was probably favored to us anyway. It looks like they were on blue-red energy, but they didn't quite get their unplayables. Had to run some random like filler Eldrazi. So I think our draft certainly panned out a little better. And so our deck was favored there. All right. Nice way to start it. One win out of the way. 1,500 gems for the minimum prize out, but we got to hop right back in there. We only got a couple hours. Play 3 more rounds. Here we are for round 2. Starting on the play, we have Snacker Insight combo and Conscription Insight combo. This Eviscerator's Insight is going to be straight fire. I can attack with a 6/6 army turn 4 if I want. But then I'd have to not hit them with the snacker for the turn. It would have to go to the grave and come back. Side, I'd hit for 1 extra point of damage doing that. Hit for 6 instead of 5. Which is probably worth it, you know? 1 extra point? Ew. It's actually super rude against my conscription. But I think I still have to just get aggressive here instead of holding up the double block. Yeah, that's astronomically rude against conscription. So now I hit for 4 damage either way. I hit for 2 with a snacker and 2 with an army. Or 2 with the snacker and 4 with the army. Ooh, or I blow my opponent out of the water here. I mean, I hit for 0 this way, but worth it to just kill an ooze. Okay. We're not just gonna kill an ooze. Well, hit for 4. See what we draw. Oh, it's a mass 3. I'm dumb. We would have hit for 5 instead of 4, so I would have still hit for 1 more. Okay, these are not very good draws. We are the Floodmaster over here. Copy Crook's not bad, but that's our only other spell. 4th spell drawn out of 12 cards. Alright, Oozewag. So they're just curving out, trying to out aggro. And the Slith is putting in a lot of work for that. We honestly need to find something to deal with Slith, but gotta dig through lands to get there. Okay, Dream Drinker. Lifelink helps out for sure. Yeah, their attacks are actually so huge next turn. 6/6 trample. 5/5 menace. Oh god, yeah, this is bad. We need to be able to disrupt some part of this, and we can't right now. Does that mean I need to dig? I need to dig so badly as to just insight, be tapped out. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's lethal if I don't hold up a blocker. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 damage if they tap out for a removal spell, but if they play a cheap enough removal spell, they can kill something and expand the ooze. We're also dead, holding up just one blocker. Which makes me feel like I have to, like, copy Crick here awkwardly. It's just the most likely way to not die. Really, really easy to die if we attack with both. I mean, if we attack with both, we're done on board. If I attack with just Snacker, it's still pretty easy to die. If it's like the removal spell where they put a +1/+1 counter on a creature and then shoot something, we're dead. This looks like a significantly rougher matchup, because their archetype is the kind of thing you need to be able to disrupt some part of the Rube Goldberg machine, and we didn't get much interaction in our draft pod. So these kind of curve outs are just gonna be wild. They kill the Oozewag here, we take 0. Okay, that's a huge draw. That is legitimately a massive draw. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 from Adapt, 13, 14, 15. Super dead if I attack with this. I mean, what if I deem the Oozewag instead? No, we have to deem this Ooze, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Or the Slith, alternatively. So we do have a 7/7 blocker now. We're praying for no removal, no matter what we do, really. I'll get rid of the menace threat. So if they don't have removal, their attacks are considerably worse. Doesn't look like removal yet. That's a massive, massive attacker, though. Because the amount of counters they'll have on board is how much they get to buff somebody. And they're going to have a lot. They can adapt that for 2 more, adapt that for 2 more. 6 counters on board for Hydra Trainer. Psychic Frog's definitely our win condition. Can try to get us to where we can kill them in just 2 swings from the frog. I highly doubt I can get this frog to 10 power to kill them the turn after this, though. I think we're going to have to hit them with frog twice. But it's also going to present as a pretty high toughness blocker. Can discard the whole hand to make this thing 6 or 7 toughness. Okay. Jumpers are not particularly great right now. So I kind of don't mind sending Snacker in. It's only stopping 1 damage most likely. I can stop the 1 non-trampler with the Eldrazi spawn instead anyway. Ooh. Yeah, now everyone has trample. And they have a flying blocker. Yeah, this is a great aggressive deck from our opponent. It was a little splashy, so they could stumble on mana. If they go for any kind of attacks here, we can ruin their day. Alright, so they don't. Hello. Say goodbye to the flyer, right? One damage off lethal. With that consuming corruption, I can kill the flyer and send in both of these. Frog can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, can be 7 power. We can hit for 9, which is not lethal. Shoot. This replaces itself in the card economy immediately, so I'll have just as many cards in hand to discard the Psychic Frog so I can see what's coming up, see what I would draw if I do choose to hit them with Frog. Deep Analysis actually is lethal. Nah, we're a mana off. Sorin Consuming Corruption combo? That's gotta be just game, right? Beginning of post-combat main phase? Oh, I can't draw Sorin in time because he triggers after combat. Shoot. Okay. I'm kind of running out of time here, but I'm sure that there was a way to do this slightly better. I don't think there was a way to get lethal. Actually, no. If I discarded... That's right. If I discarded Deep Analysis to Psychic Frog, that would be... There's a counter on Frog right there, and then 2 more because I can flash it back. Yeah, we could have lethaled with the Deep Analysis draw. I got too excited about Sorin with the lifelink thing. Shoot, yeah, that's missed lethal straight up. So if we die here, that's on me. I gotta remember Frog Deep Analysis combo in the future. I was like, well, I don't have 4 mana for Deep Analysis, so we can't get there. I only have 3. But, like, we can just discard the analysis. Okay, so they shut off my lifelink. I think I still survive, barely. 10, 13. Oh, not if they exert Hydra Trainer. We might be straight dead, because I missed the Deep Analysis discard. Oh, they misclicked. They didn't click exert. Oh my god, I'm so lucky. I am so lucky. I should have gotten so punished for that. That's gotta be tilting off the face of the earth for my opponent. If you click the all attack button, it automatically skips your ability to exert. You have to manually click and attack with it separately to exert it and get the buff. Yeah, I straight up miss-lethaled into our opponent missing lethal. That's so lucky. Because their miss-lethal was genuinely just because of the way Arena works. It's just like a digital, the perks of playing digital Magic kind of misclick sort of thing. Like, they obviously were going to try to exert Hydra Trainer and kill me. My miss-lethal was genuinely misthinking and misplaying the line. So mine was more egregious and should have lost us the game. if everything was fair and balanced. Ooh, all right, really keep in mind Psychic Frog Deep Analysis combo in the future. That would have gotten us lethal on that swing, and we absolutely should have done it. Too excited about the Soar and Life Gain combo. That would not have worked anyway because it triggers beginning of the post-combat main phase. That would be... we wouldn't draw Soar until it's too late anyway. All right. I don't think we're really sideboarding here. They are green, white, black modified aggro. We didn't see any removal from our opponent, which is pretty lucky, and it also means I don't really want to throw specimens in until we've seen some. Didn't see Eldrazi for Consigned to Memory. I could play a 2/5 Vigilance, I guess. That doesn't actually look that bad against them, but I don't think it's better than anything else in the deck. Everything else in the deck looks just as good as Shapeshifter, if not better anyway. All right. Embarrassing misplay. Really glad it does not pound out against us there. That was lucky. The classic miss lethal into miss lethal to keep us in the game. Okay, well, I need to top deck a blue source real bad, but if we do, this hand's incredible. And if we don't, I do still have plays. Oh my god, let's go. If we can just keep getting this lucky, might be able to get to draft 2. Proud Pack Rhino. Just swing right past that. Actually, just a Cursed Marauder here and just draw cards all over. Gotta be the play. I don't mind ditching Insight to hit a little harder here and make this a little sturdier against like green removal spells. Green removal all being damage based. Right, Oozewag, how's it going? Rip the Oozewag off the board with Defiler next turn. For now, probably on Serum Visionary. I will absolutely trade 2 cards in hand for Oozewag if they block, though. Sure. So Oozewag gets the 2 for 1 us, but we're up in tempo. Okay, they don't block anymore. Never mind. Oop. Cool. Actually know what the best line is here. If I Shadow Spinner, then if I can Sorin and extort something next turn, I could flip a Sorin, which is cute. But I'm already just gonna Depth Defiler next turn pretty much no matter what. So it's like Visionary or Shadow Spinner. Lifelink feels big. We'll go for the Shadow Spinner. Like, Lifelink feels big even without Sorin. They're pretty aggressive. Getting a nice pocket of life gain can be very nice for us. Okay, they're just on Adapt. Is this Adapt plus green removal? Could be. Have to be instant speed removal, though. Let's see. They got the hexproof trick? No, they're just over it. Just uncontested Psychic Frog will steal some games, and it absolutely does there. We are now 2-0. We just need to win 1 of the next 2 rounds. Make it into draft number 2, An incredible spot to be, but we are not done yet. Let's get back in there, get back in the ring, and head into round number 3. Here we are on the play for round 3, solid curve. Vamper. We've got a Dream Drinker Vamper into Serum Visionary. Try to push some nice tempo from being on the play. Ooh, now I can Shadow Spinner and just gain 1,000,000 life in the early turns. I also have a flashback spell to discard to Shadow Spinner. Our opponents on white-black, they could have some aura-based removal out of white like Dog Umbra to make Insight even better. Thorin. That's awkward. That's actually pretty awkward, yeah. Now I have 2 flashback spells in hand, so I just Shadow Spinner. Taste of our own Sorin medicine. Wither and Bloom the Shadow Spinner, so they can poke for 1, gain 1 here. Some landscape for fixing. They do not poke for 1, gain 1. They'd rather have Sorin up to block the Dream Drinker. Which makes sense. If I can find another swamp, then I can Corruption the Sorin, which feels decent. So, I can Deep Analysis towards it, or I can Visionary towards it, still expand the board. I think I'm going for mana efficiency still, instead of putting more on board. There's their own Sorin. Very cute. Ours flips really quick as well. And the flip side's actually great on Sorin. Deal damage to the amount of life you gain to any target. Yeah, flipped Sorin is actually like really, really good. Okay, obviously I can't block. Please do not play another non-token creature. No! If I draw a swamp, this is going to be an incredible turn. That's not a swamp. If I hit exactly a swamp, I could Sorin and Corruption and I have gained 4 this turn. Oh wait, no, because Dream Drinker gains life too. Oh, we didn't even need a land, because the Dream Drinker life gain. So I go Corruption, this. Drop Sorin. Gain 2 more. Flip Sorin, kill their Sorin with our Sorin. Alright, that's pretty fantastic. I can't believe that's only a -1. So if they don't deal with this, I give it Menace, hit for 3, and I can shoot something for 3 with this again. Or I can just sit here making food tokens to set up the ping for later. Oh my god. 4-color Titans Vanguard Eldrazi stuff? Alright. That's a deck. Well, Sorin's going to be pretty great here. So... Marauder a creature and Sorin the other one? Two mana to adapt, so I can't extort this here. I forgot he still has extort too, so you can just cast spells to get the ping. This Sorin is so good. Cool. So, just so I don't have to adapt immediately, I can just minus Sorin I guess the part I don't like is now Titan's Vanguard buffs the Eldrazi spawn to attack Sorin. But if I hold Dream Drinker back, I can block with a 3-2 against a 1-2. Yeah, I think it's actually better to protect Sorin at this point. Maybe than it is to hit for 2. I want to save the adapt for when the Vanguard hit. Yeah, we actually just pass. Keep Sorin on board. Get a food. Cool. That's a play you can make. Alright, sack the spawn. Cool. I guess that makes sure I don't get Menace on my next swing, because I have to adapt there. So that could have definitely been intentional. If I can cast 2 spells and extort them, I can kill Titan's Vanguard here. Actually, if they just block, I can kill Titan's Vanguard. I lose the Sorin, but I get rid of the Vanguard, and they're down to 2 cards, and we have a ton. Probably perfectly worth it, honestly. But let's Serum Visionary first and see. If I find, like, the thing that bounces it, then that's probably just better anyway. Okay, it did not. Okay, goodbye Sorin, goodbye Vanguard. It's okay, Sorin, you did a ton of work. Oh, what am I doing? I needed to extort another card. What am I doing? Oops. Well, now we both punted. Punting a sword is a lot worse than punting an Eldrazi spawn, though. I don't know why I thought I was stacking up into 5, even if they didn't block. Alright, well, I'm at 29, so draw the cards. Should have just had a food token there and then let them hit Sorin. That was so bad. Hello, Marionette Apprentice. Bold swing, but it buffs the servo. Maybe they should have even just, like, Sorin to their face there. I mean, it's almost definitely just get the food would have been the right play. Don't mind Copy Crook on the Titan's Vanguard. Still have Eviscerators in sight up. Gengar kills them pretty fast in the sky, though. So Dream Drinker trades into the servo. It's kind of bad. It's going to take 3 swings in the sky to kill them. 2 swings in the sky and 1 Kami trigger will do it as well. Yeah, let's just get Gengar down. Try to get this to attack twice. If we can get this to hit them twice, we're good. The Apprentice is not one of the cards that gains life. That's disgusting. No Gengar hits then. But no Vanguard hit this turn. Are they on all spells still? 0 Flood? Combat Trick in hand? Brutal. Okay. Oh my god, we're just gonna die to the Sorin punts. Go to 10 life if I hit any land off of Deep Analysis with Kami. 55% of the deck that's left is lands here. So I'd be at 10. I trade Kami into the Vanguard. Trampled for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But Visionary can jump up over there. I have to hit more spells. A Shadow Spinner Kami is guaranteed not on board dead. He's still... Okay. So are they still drawing tricks? Okay. They did hit one extra land, but it cycles. Okay. Can we play one blocker here? 2-3 stat line is so rough. Kind of have to copy Crook. Got no more lifelink in the deck. Okay, so these are both gonna die either way now. They do spend the energy to get rid of my life losser. We definitely don't bounce the apprentice and give them another creature here. Just all blocks all day. Okay, Transmigrant Apprentice is very good for our opponent. Bounce the Transmigrant. I don't mind bounce the Transmigrant at all. Go for a 2-swing lethal. I guess I am leaving myself dead to top deck removal this way. But pretty sure it's the only way to kill them in 2 swings. Actually, I guess we still don't quite kill them because they have enough blockers. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have sent in the army here. Glimpse. Digs, finds 3 lands. which is 3 spawn with an apprentice. Oh my god, yeah, no, glimpse is just the kill. Absolutely nothing I can do about it. Apprentice actually just busted here. Oh, we punted this away when I thought Soren was doing 5 damage. God, that sucks. Anything I can draw to stop this? No, it's all sorcery speed. I can't respond to them just sacking the spawns. They just sack the spawns and I just die. Man. That's really disappointing. Like, almost grinded it out, too. Matchup looks good. I mean, this is just Titan's Vanguard mush. 4 color all over the place. Yeah, I mean, the Terramanders look really weak in there. Soren's super hard for them to flip. It's really just, if they hit Titan Vanguards in that Apprentice, those are the scary things they did. Got a lot of removal by being 4 color. Is there enough removal to want to play the 1/4 doofus? I don't think so. I think our deck's already kind of resilient to removal. I also don't really quite want to play consigns because those are really only going to work against 2 of their cards, the 2 Titans Vanguards. The only other colorless spell in there is technically Void Pouncer, but that's not that threatening. I think it's just too low of a colorless count to throw Consign to Memories in there. I think we're just running it back. That game was so winnable. This matchup should be winnable. On me. I forgot how numbers work. They do have Discharge and Wither and Bloom. But those are both too small to kill the Psychic Frog anyway. So now it's out of reach of both of those. That's the only removal we saw from them. We saw the fight spell, but that doesn't work yet. If I draw 2 cards off the frog, it's already paid for itself. Yep, there's the Wither Bloom. Yeah, Psychic Frog is just incredible in this matchup. This already feels kind of unlosable. But, I mean, we saw game 1. I could find a way. Alright. Let's just do that again in game 3. On the draw this time, but if we have the exact same hand and we're on the draw, I think we just win this matchup every time. Yeah, we're just running it back. Luckily, that game was like, there was kind of no way to misplay that. I mean, I could have misplayed it if I was like really scared of removal that we didn't see. We saw all but the bottom 10 cards of their deck, and none of the removal would kill Frog there. If we discard both Snackers. So if you played it really conservatively and you're like, well, I don't want to discard both the Snackers and have them just Doomblade it, then that would be how to play wrong and maybe lose. But That was a pretty simple game. All right, game 3. Should be 2-0 in this round, and in for draft number 2. I am my own worst enemy. Okay, this Pteramander is actually kind of threatening, because we're not going to have a way to interact with it for a long time, so they might actually make it to that late game adapt. Okay, Soren's a big deal. I think we hold off on Soren until the Shadow Spinner might give it an instant flip. Especially when Snacker for Pteramander is just straight up a good trade. This is going to be for Siege Smash instead? Sure. Snacker for Siege Smash, also a fine trade. Just play a 6/6 zombie army next turn if they don't kill the Shadow Spinner. And then turn 5 is when I can Thorn insta-flip. So I can extort a 2-drop on turn 5. I'd have to sack something to the Insight, though. Rough. They've got the Wither. There's Transmigrants. This is not going super well. They've got the interaction here early. Still 6 mana to do the adapt on Pteramander. If this Pteramander adapts, it could just straight kill me. Oh my god. Come on. I can't get a draw 3 at instant speed, so I can't block this Vanguard and have a 6/6 out of nowhere. Which means I just can't block this Vanguard here at all. Because if I just hold up a 6/6 zombie army, they can Wither and Bloom the Vanguard to make it a 6/6 attack, and then it's a 7/7. So I just don't have blocks here. But if we're really lucky, we have attacks. But they probably just chump. Alright. Yeah, we might just die. But this is our only line. Really now? I can't believe I punted this round so bad. Thought it was 5 when it was 4. Forgot numbers. This is just not a matchup we should lose. God dang it. Now I'm just so dead no matter what I play. They could punt and just not block at all, but it's so easy for them to just block our army with the Transmigrant. If for some reason they don't block the army with the Transmigrant, they die. But that's just not going to happen. Actually, no, that doesn't even work because I need 5 mana for Insight now, so I can't afford that. I would have to play another creature and extort the Insight, and yeah, we can just see if Soren plus Snacker would survive. It's some toughness on board. But they have what? These are double triggers? So they have 12 plus 7, that's 13 plus 4. They have 17 trample damage on board. Jesus Christ. I cannot attack at all, there's no way. 17. 18 trample damage when you count in Wither and Bloom. 18 minus 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 18 minus 10 is 8, plus I gain 1. So I need to have 1 snacker on the tramplers, 1 snacker on a transmigrant, and 1 on Terramander. Yeah, I literally, if they just Wither and Bloom all attack, I'm dead if I attack with anything here. There's the mana to adapt Terramander. Really? Wow, this is... Oh my god. This is obnoxious. I mean, it's just dead because this one triggered and gave them 2 more counters. It's literally just dead. These only stop 1 damage apiece anyway, so this is the maximum damage we can stop. That's not true. We're stopping some extra damage here that we don't need to. But there's no way to find lethal through this now. Ever. We just... Oh, I lose because I can't do numbers, man. I feel like this matchup is so favorable, and that was 2 winning games if I just played it right, and we'd just be 2-0. I'm gonna be beating myself up about that one all day. That's for sure. Especially if we lose round 4, because that would just kick us out of the draft because I punted away this round. Again, I could have technically survived there if I lost like my whole board without even killing a single Vanguard, but there's nothing we draw at that point. If I play that way. So that game was just over. What a disappointing way to lose the round and potentially not make it into day 2, draft 2. It's on me. And when we saw how it played out, the matchup was favorable. Both of the first 2 games were winning games if I just played it right. Be 2 wins, 1 loss. I mean, I guess we wouldn't have even played game 3 if I won the first game. Because again, game 2, we would have won that game with that same hand on the draw. Oh, that's a bummer. Absolutely, we should be 3-0 right now. Should have been 2-0 in the round. But as favorable as a matchup can be, you can still punch your way out of it. Just throwing Sorin in the grave for nothing. Again, Sorin still would have died, but they would have had to send the creature its way. We would have had that food token, and the game still ended close enough that 1 swing directed at Sorin plus 1 food token was more than enough to end in a victory in our favor. Man. Alright. Let's clear our heads, go into a Zen space, and try to play perfectly for the final round so we can potentially go 3-1 and still make it to draft 2. Oh boy. Forced mulligan. This is definitely keepable. Hoping that our opponent does not have interaction that is good at clearing out a psychic frog. I think we just run it out here. It's a lot of the cheap removal. we can stop. Potentially on black, where they could try to Wither and Bloom the Psychic Frog, and we can stop that. They're potentially on white, where they can just exile it with a Static Prison or something, and we can't stop that. Okay, green is fine. Green can't kill it till they have creatures on board. Green-blue, also fine. I guess they can make it a 1/1 with no abilities. We're on Conscription this turn and then Serum Visionary. If I don't hit a land, I can Serum Visionary next turn. That's a draw 3 if I hit them with Psychic Frog and play Serum Visionary. If I do hit a land, I can just Deep Analysis to make this a 6/6. Okay, yeah, we probably make that thing a 6/6 pre-combat for more damage. If they have the Dog Umbra thing that pacifies one of these, it'll be slightly sad, but I can still Insight for value out of the pacified creature. If they try to pacify the zombie army, that's going to go really badly for them, because then Eviscerator's Insight unlocks it. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a frog with power 1/1. Okay, I think I'd rather have a Transmigrant Engrave. Although just playing a Transmigrant and sacking it to Insight's good too here. So I'm going to make this a 2/2. No, I think I'm going to discard Transmigrant. They can put 2 copies on the frog just cuz. Cool. Flavor fail. My frog's been turned into a frog, but now it's a frog with no frog abilities. But it was already a frog. Repurposer. Yeah, that's chub blocks for days upon days. It is certainly annoying. Digging. Hello, Sneaky Snacker. It's probably the play. Get some evasive threats onto the board. So now I can Dog Umbra that next turn to get it out of the Umbra. I do have to restart growing it. Cycle Drownyard Lurker, draw a card. Demon Inferior is not a bad draw, but we're definitely not using it on Repurposer right now. Insight is incredible in this matchup. And we've only seen the one Dog Umbra, but it's incredible against the one Dog Umbra. I guess now that I can Deem for only 1 mana, it might actually be worth using here. Probably not. It's just another 2 that can get blocked by this spawn anyway. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do it. I just drop a 3/3. Just maximize damage here. already basically have a full grip. Okay, bounce the Sneaky Snacker. Slow that down. Bounce the army too, I guess. Can replace that pretty easily. Sure. Awkwardly, the Defiler has pretty good abilities on a recast, so I'm not in love with deeming it. We're just throwing everybody into the sky and deeming any reach or flying blockers they play. Path of Annihilation, that can gain them some life, gives them 1,000,000 mana, but it doesn't stop any flying damage. Nor does Repurposer. Now they have basically infinite mana. It's a Copy Crook we can play on our flyer. Can Demon Inferior the Path of Annihilation just to kind of make sure they're not playing a super big Eldrazi, but even if I deem that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana towards an Eldrazi. Still play almost any Eldrazi. Oh, hello, Kami. Oh, snap. Now even if they play like the best Eldrazi, they're just gonna die. Yeah, 100%. Just play the Kami and put them to 1. Alright, they still lose if they, like, Emrakul us and steal all our creatures. We can just, like, a Cursed Marauder. Oh, no, we can't a Cursed Marauder. They sack 1. Maybe Emrakul could still beat us there. I don't remember how Emrakul works. It has protection from, like, everything, so we couldn't deem it or anything like that. Okay. Looks like another favorable matchup. This is the 3-color Eldrazi deck. White, blue, green. We're great against the Dog Umbra. But again, last matchup was favorable. And I punted it away, so I need to stay on my toes here. Ah, it's the worst that it was such a silly misplay too, because it was just like a number-based thing. It wasn't like a line-based thing where I did the wrong line. It was just like, that's not the number I thought it was. All right. Okay. Yeah, again, pretty happy with our main deck. We could throw some consigns in. They've got Repurposers and Defilers we can counter. Drownyard Lurkers. Consigns don't seem that bad. But is there anything that's easy to cut to throw them in? Maybe Dream Drinker, kind of whatever. Dream Drinker for a consign seems fine, and I guess we're on the draw. We can cut a land. Dream Drinker Swamp. I'll just go 1 for 1 here. We'll try out 1 consign and see how it plays for us. Hello? Got the Unfathomable Truths to bring the Snacker back, so that is pretty free for Psychic Frog here. Let's see if they've got their Amphibian thing or their Dog Umbra thing. looks like neither. That really blocks the frog, though. That makes sure that we're not drawing any cards here. Yet, unless I discard a bunch and exile it all, that can't be right. I'll absolutely discard 2 if they block with Repurposer, though. Sure. I don't want to just hold up Consign here. We have a really easy turn to hold up Consign with Unfathomable Truths later, though. But, like, play around the 5-mana 3/5, trying to deal with the frog. This is a little all in, but I'm going to try to hold up Consign here and hope they're going for, like, the bouncer is the play. Yeah, again, maybe you should just play Shadow Spinner. But we know that there is one response they could have for Frog that Consign's pretty great against. It would have a huge impact on this game if they have the 3/5 that bounces something. Oh my god. Oh my god, he's a genius? That's straight up, that's literally a game-winning line that I kept that up. That's so lucky. Replicate 1, right? Copy it for each time you pay to choose. Yeah, I just need to copy it once. Target that. Target that. And then we win. How does he do it? Hey, Nadu. Good thing I'm not gonna target you. Egregious! The concession? Yeah, that was the worst game of my opponent's day, I have to imagine. That was horrific. Kicked Depth Defiler gets consigned to Memoried when your opponent has the Psychic Frog on board, and then your Nadu gets a Cursed Maraudered. Ooh! Well, it obviously feels great to make it into Day 2 Draft 2, but that one really dumb punt in round 3 kept us from 4-0 right now, and if we were 4-0, then that would mean in Day 2 Draft 2, we'd be double elimination. So we could lose 2 rounds instead of just 1 in Day 2 Draft 2. But now, because we punted away round 3, we've only got 1 shot at getting the cash prizes. So it's one of those kind of plays, one of those punts that, like, butterfly flaps its wings, and we don't get any money, potentially, right? Because we could have absolutely been 4-0 right now if we played perfectly, and then in this draft number 2, if I end up losing 1 round at any point, then that means we're getting less than $2,000, and had I played perfectly, we would have had a second shot at the cash. So pretty big bummer. If you're going to make it to Day 2 Draft 2, this is the only way for that to be a bummer. That we should have been 4-0, but we're 3-1 anyway. I'm really happy with how I drafted. I mean, that was just an excellent cookie-cutter blue-black draw 3 deck. It was a little light on removal, a little light on interaction, but our draft pot as a whole kind of was. I think the deck was incredible. The deck was not the problem at all. It was the gameplay. It was the misplays, the punts, particularly in the 1 round that we actually lost for them. So, yeah, really, really happy with how I drafted, with the deck that we ended up with. If we played perfectly today, we'd be 4-0. We might have even not even lost like a game. We definitely wouldn't have in round 3 where we lost the round. Yeah, bummer to look back on that, but still a really good spot to be. And now we got all the gems back we ended up spending for the Arena Open Day 1. Because we already got 5,000 gems back for making it through Day 1. And I only spent 10,000 gems. I spent 2 runs on the Arena Open Day 1. I did 1 with gold and then 2 with gems this time around. So now we got all our gems back. So we're straight up, we're break even no matter what. And we get to draft the format twice. And we have a chance at the cash prizes. And that's even more videos for you all. If you want to see more Modern Horizons 3 competitive stuff, this is the final opportunity. This is the swan song for the format, because by the time this video gets uploaded, Day 2 draft number 1, the Bloomborough Early Access event is like tomorrow or the day after. So Bloomborough is literally right around the corner. So this is our last opportunity to really show off Modern Horizons 3. So pretty excited for that. Again, I really, really am happy with how I drafted. It was a very easy draft, to be fair. We got a great blue-black rare, and then blue-black was open. But I think the deck we ended up with was pretty much the absolute best deck we could have ended up with in the draft, and it would have carried us to 4-0 if I just played right. So can't be unhappy with that part, but I can be unhappy with how I played. Some rough misplays and some punts, even in games that we ended up winning or in rounds that we ended up winning, and one really, really pivotal one cost us the 4-0 to be 3-1 instead. So that's the record for today. Pretty great overall, but some foolish human errors. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for supporting the channel, as well as you for watching the video. If you want to see some more like this, particularly the Arena Open Day 2 Draft 2, stick around. You can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more of these videos in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.